10 a.m. Bitcoin trap. The Jane Street scandal is exposed. So, you guys have been wondering about why Bitcoin keeps crashing? Well, it's called market manipulation. Nancy Pelosi knows all about this. Whether you're a pro Trump supporter or not, he's trying to implement where this stuff does not happen because the market should not be going down, but you have people manipulating the market and selling it day after day, just constantly crashing and then buying it right back up and getting a ridiculous amount of profit while you guys are bleeding out. In this chart, you guys have probably seen it, whether it's Instagram or just on the news, but this is showing that every 10 a.m., this company is selling Bitcoin, which is causing this manipulation and suppression that we have all been waiting to get out of. They keep manipulating the market and pushing it down when that's not the way the market should be moving. Now it's completely oversold, in my opinion. It just keeps getting suppressed more and more. Yes, there may be a little bit more to go, but at this current moment, we know what the cause of Bitcoin crashing is, besides the fact of Jerome Powell and the US government shutdown. So this graph right here clearly shows the market manipulation. And for those of you who are new to the channel or have not done it yet, definitely check out the game I constantly promote. It's called Roller Coin, and it earns you passive income. Currently, I'm earning 0.000361 XRP every 10 minutes, which in a week, it's not a whole bunch, but if you guys are interested in staking, this game is like earning staking rewards passively. You just come in, click a button, play a few games if you want. But it's great passive income. Some people are earning half an XRP a day playing that game. I'll leave the reference link in the description below, just like I do in all my videos. But let's talk about the TA. For those of you who have been along with this channel for this past year and a couple months that I've created it, shout out to you guys and everybody who has become a member. 50% goes to save animals' lives. But let's actually dig into Bitcoin in the 4 hour. And you can see in my chart, because I am in a different time zone, I was looking at it recently, 1600 hours. You look at the bottom there, 1600 hours, January 26th. Right here, that's about 00. But let's go to this point, 1600 hours. Okay, let's go to this point, 1600 hours. And you see that right around those time zones, it keeps dropping. That's essentially Jane Street selling and manipulating, which is what we've been dealing with for these past like 9 months or longer, is manipulation. This is a major issue in any market, um, especially in the crypto market, because there's high volatility. So the people who are manipulating it, they're actually going to a lawsuit, which it's about time, because it's been way too long for them to be selling this over and over and over again. There's the 16th. You can see here we got 16, and every time 10 a.m. they're just dumping, and then they'll buy it right back, and then dump again, and then buy it right back. So this is a major issue that needs to be fixed, because Bitcoin, we know, should have followed this pattern. Government shutdown, market manipulation throughout this entire year. So a lot of you who are freaking out thinking you need to sell your bag, don't do that. You've been under the pure manipulation of the market. And Bitcoin, what we could expect to hit as low as around 50 to 52,000, because in previous history we have seen that as a support zone more or less before ultimately taking off. And a lot of people talk about the super cycle, which is a high possibility, which means we will see ridiculous numbers. So if you are selling at this price point, you are not a part of the smart money that would be buying up as much as they can in this price range. 63,000 for a Bitcoin when it was just at 124,000 at the beginning of the year is 50% off. If you guys are looking for a deal, you guys got a deal going on with Bitcoin. But let's move in to XCN, because that's what everybody who watches this channel looks for. I already have like 73% of the subscribers, and this is the only thing you guys want to see for whatever reason. Some of you do take the time to watch the other videos. It's always appreciated. But XCN is still doing its thing. Some of you may be saying this is nothing really important. More or less it's not. But what is really important is the fact that we broke out of a channel, we held it as support. Even if we come down and test that channel again, if we can hold that as support, it is more than likely a bullish case scenario. We can still see it pull all the way back down to here around that 0.003 area, which isn't it's nothing to be worried about. If you guys are in at the 0.004, or even if you're up in at a penny and a half or even higher, I'm not worried about it. I have some trades that are, trapped in here. I guess some other trades that are placed lower. Um, I have extreme confidence going through over almost 2 decades of experience in the crypto market that a lot of the time there is manipulation. This year in specific has been the biggest manipulation out of any year, and there's reasoning behind it because in April we are getting the Clarity Act, which is going to show some major implementation into the cryptocurrency market. Do some research on it. I'm not going to get into it on this video, but let's talk about XCN. We do want it to hold this orange line. It's more than likely not going to hold this orange line. And we could see it retrace a little bit further down here around the 0.0038. But again, even if we tap down in this area, we are still within the wedge. The part that you would be a little bit worried about is if we break this red downward trend line here around the 0.0026. But more than likely, we have a bunch of liquidity all within this area down here that is just waiting to snag at those prices because they do know that typically in crypto, almost all the time, we hit our all-time highs and then we double it. We've seen Bitcoin do ridiculous percentages, XRP 32,000%. Granted, now that the prices are higher, you're not going to see those astronomical gains. Can XCN hit 30,000%? I think I put it in one video. What I think XCN will hit potentially is 42 cents, which is way up here. But right now, we are just in the consolidation phase, waiting for Bitcoin's market manipulation to finally finish. And as long as we are still consolidating and not having these major pushes down, even if we have a major liquidity sweep, which means people who have sell stops if it breaks this red downward trend line, there is a ridiculous amount of buy opportunities down here. So a lot of people have money just sitting, waiting to tap it and then get those astronomical gains that some people are willing to give up. So currently here at 0.00458, we've been here for quite a while, back here in November of 2025. Um, we had the major pump, but with major pumps comes major retracement, and we are still at a higher low. So technically, it is more or less bullish, but with this candle and with the manipulation, bombings in Iraq or Iran or whatever country, this is something to keep in mind that there is the possibility to have that retracement. But if you have money, I would be buying anywhere within this area. You guys have an amazing opportunity at half a penny, less than half a penny. If it goes up to a penny, which it will, you guys are going to make some pretty good gains, but we are expecting a lot more than just a 100% gain. We're looking for a couple hundred, if not thousands of percent gains here to come for XCN. My iPad is at 5%, so I'm going to keep this video a little bit short. Moving into XRP though, XRP is starting to build still within this channel. We are in the 4-hour on this chart. We are still holding this black trend line, even though it is pulling down. It looks a little bit scarier on the 4-hour, on the daily, not so much. Yes, there is a big red or orange candle here, but there is so much liquidity waiting to buy XRP below $1 if it does reach that. And again, like I said previously, if we break out of the channel, we are more likely going to immediately reverse right back into the channel. And my TA was almost exactly on point. We did that. We had the 50% more or less push up. Sorry, not 50%, but 50% into the CM guppy. This was a 23% from that trend line. Yes, we can tap this. Ideally, we'd want to see it consolidate on top of that black trend line. But if Bitcoin does something crazy, like it's pulled back to 52K, expect a retracement potentially down to here around 91 cents before immediately pulling back up and altcoin season starting to kick off. It is February 28th. We probably have at least another month and a half to two before we start seeing some green, or in my case, blue candles moving to the upside. Keep stacking your bag. These prices are extremely, extremely low. If you guys are able to put more money into the cryptocurrency market, you are more than likely not going to lose anything as long as you are not willing to sell on these pullbacks from the coins that I explained, like XCN, XRP, and a bunch of others. For members, some of those other coins that I explained do have extremely high ROI, a little bit more risky, but the reward is going to be bliss. So hold on tight, deal with the manipulation. We are trying to get this thing figured out. Obviously, not me, the government in general is trying to figure out how to stop this market manipulation. Maybe get on Robinhood, follow Nancy Pelosi trades, and you won't even have to worry about today or tomorrow because there will be profit coming in. But if that gets fixed, if everything is set in stone, when the Clarity Act comes out, we are going to see some insane numbers for cryptocurrency. And you guys are going to be wishing you had listened to my opinion at buying at these $1.27 price ranges. Even if it pulls back, $1.27 per XRP is still extremely undervalued. You guys are buying Apple before it became a major company. XRP is buying banks. They're getting lawsuits to the SEC. This thing has some insane potential, and it's not going away. We are waiting to implement the new financial way of living. We're trying to implement something where you can get paid instantly, where you can transfer money instantly. And like I've felt the pain with transferring US to Euro, 20% is, it's 18%. You go to the bank, they'll charge you an extra 4% on top of that 18%, and then a $6 fee because they're a bank. I turned $200 into 100, or 200 US dollars into 157 euros. Brutal, just disgusting on the amount of money that the banks can grab. This coin is going to try and nullify that. Banks want in on it. They want to give you the least amount of percentage yield for the money that you have. They want to take that just like with everything else. So they are trying to find a way where the banks can be happy and the normal investor as well as the institutions can be happy as well. Right now, for these past year, it's been in manipulation. I'm sorry to say it. For those of you who are new to the crypto market, you guys entered in probably in one of the worst years, but don't worry, it's about to take off like we've seen many times before. And the amount of people that are going to be throwing money into crypto is just giving it that potential to push way, way higher. Hold on tight. Write in the comments below if you want. Helps push the video. Like, subscribe, donate, become members. 50% of everything that I make goes to save animals' lives. The other 50% goes to get me new tech. Just like I said, for to see the truth, I put my money where my mouth is. You guys donated. I bought myself a mic. Hopefully it helps with the audio. We'll try and figure out what I can do next. But the next thing for tech is buying a new iPad so I can give you guys better TA, and hopefully the better microphone and audio comes along with that. So do you guys' thing, watch the videos, and hopefully my information is beneficial to you, and hopefully those of you who are members are getting some of that insight that you guys may not have seen yourself. I will constantly be looking for new coins to promote to you guys, whether I'm in them or not. The opportunities will be presented if you guys are a member. So good luck, have fun with it, and I will see you guys on the next one.